It is the Sweat Equity Podcast coming to you from Cigar City Studios, podcast studio in the Toco Works office. I'm your host, Law Smith. I am a comedian. I own Tocobaga Consulting. I do a lot of nerd work. Before I bring in our guest, that's slamming a NOS energy drink. It's so gross. I can't judge because I have Pedialyte next to me. But before I bring you in, I know you're excited, but we got to plug the Laughable app. Go download the Laughable app. We're on it. The deal with Laughable is the iTunes app isn't that great. It'll get you by, and it's hard to change behavior. But the Laughable app, if you tag me or you tag our guest, Dan Whalen, and he shows up on another podcast, it'll let you know. So the idea, I think it started for comedians to follow comedians on other podcasts while they're hopping around. Jim Norton's plugging his special right now, so he's doing a bunch of press. I love listening to Jim Norton talk about all the S&M stuff he does. I think it's really interesting how honest he is. So I want to hear him on other podcasts. So heard him on Rogan, and then boom, he was on Corolla, and it gave me a little, hey, he did this one over here. Check that one out. So Laughable. The app is called Laughable. It's on iTunes store, the Apple Store, to get it, and then I believe it's on Android as well. And yeah, man, I think you can review us on there too.
Is it free?
It's for is it free? It's free. Oh yeah.
Thank God.
It's not a freemium app where you buy the app for free and then they're like, hey, you want all these ads out of here? I mean, it may get that way. I don't know. The guy's got to make money. The guy's got to make money somehow. So that voice you're hearing, that sultry, that sultry kind of almost white Morgan Freeman-like voice you're hearing is Dan Whalen back on the podcast. You feel good? Do you feel healthy?
After that compliment?
Yeah. White Morgan Freeman?
What more do I have to do?
I don't know, man.
Essentially just walk out of the room right now.
I should just go into people's eulogies and just riff compliments and just see what happens.
We should talk to the funeral homes around here.
Oh, we do know one.
We know a great one.
All denominations too. So we were like, all right, we popped your cherry on the last episode that you were on, and so you're like, got to come back. Like, basically, you're like, it can be Rocky 3 or Rocky 4, just not Rocky 2 or 5.
I'm good with Rocky 4. Rocky 4 will be a huge win.
I guess 2 he won and 1 he didn't, right? But just let's just say, never Rocky 5.
Rocky himself, or are we actually talking the movie winning? Because that's really...
Oh, I'm going just the character.
So I'm Balboa.
In this bad metaphor, yeah. Yeah.
With respect to America.
You're more of a Klitschko, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Just with darker hair.
Mm-hmm.
Except he's only 5'11" in real life, I believe.
Klitschko?
Yeah.
Both of them?
No, wait, no. Lundgren, who played Klitschko, he might be taller.
No. Klitschko twins are current boxers. I'm jumping around.
I'm all
They're-
over the place as well.
And then Drago is Dolph Lundgren, and he's like
Which,
not as big,
no,
but next to Stallone, pretty tall. Yeah.
not difficult.
So we wanted to come back. I was like, what are we gonna throw out there? And you're like, let's talk about kind of employee path, employee kind of training or career path or any of that. Did you read the extra 2% I gave you yet? Development. Employee development. That sounds better.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I like that better.
Slack that idea earlier. I was pretty proud of it.
Yeah, if people don't use Slack, they're being kind of dumb, really. Intra communication app, but
Gotta get the whole team on there.
yeah. I mean, utilize it the way you need to. I just started looking at some automated tools like Zapier and IFTTT, which we'll start implementing a little bit more. So to help that quality control of online comments, we can have it automated so it throws it in a Slack channel you and I can see, and we can get on it quicker.
Rather than being glued to your phone
Right.
all the time.
I'm trying to really work on that so I'm not
sure
glued.
The likelihood of the inappropriate comments is probably increasing after the hours of 9 p.m. or so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's stuff you can do. You can put filters on, or you can accept comments on a lot of the social media stuff that's kind of like Facebook or LinkedIn. You can let it just chill there, but you're not getting the value out of it. So it's a philosophical debate. I figure if you have enough people that are watching it sometimes, you can get on it. And look, I think other people understand that you can't, small businesses especially can't monitor that stuff all the time. But you can put some filters on there. Real fun stuff. I hope people are still with us. I might have to get a beer halfway through this thing, but
Downstairs.
no, it's right there, man. Oh yeah, someone left Mickey's in my fridge. Doing another podcast in here.
Dangerous.
Yeah, that brings you back to high school, I guess, for me.
Never even heard of it.
I think it started in Boston, right? You're a Boston guy?
Beats me. Technically Worcester, which is about 45 minutes out.
Yeah, that's all the same. Kinda. Really, you know. Yeah.
Typical.
But it's spread out. It's mashed out.
I'm just kidding.
Because Boston's not really from. I've only been there once, but I know so many people that live there. I know a lot of comedians that came out of there. It's kind of like it's not. You think it's a bigger city, but it's really mashed out and pushed out into those suburbs. Yeah. Employee development. What was catching your eye about that? What'd you want to scat about?
Nothing particular I wanted to scat about. I think it would have been a good area to expound upon based off of some of our current conversations towards the hiring aspect.
Well, it is like the secret cost, right? So I tell everybody like human capital. All right? That's the douchey term for it. But human capital is like the most expensive cost you have running a business most of the time, unless you have.
No, by far, for the most part.
Well,
Whatever.
unless you're a product that just is made. Even then, like I was gonna say, made in China and just kind of. Yeah, because you got to have a quality control guy over there you trust. That's the deal when you manufacture over there. Like they will rip you. Like it's crazy. It's like the Wild West over there as far as like. No regulation on some stuff, so you have to have like a trusted guy over there, and then you got to have a trusted guy over here that's doing the importing part. From my understanding, after working for a small air purifier company for a couple of years, that was what I was told. And then my design buddy, furniture design friend, corroborated. Yeah, I think that's what.
I know you're really passionate about air purifying. I don't understand how you got out of that industry.
Tough. It was actually the mismanagement of everybody there. Ask them, they may say something different, like that. I don't know. It's weird. They had a lot of family members working for them, which is
Always good.
which is sweet when you're like the only white dude and everybody's speaking Mandarin around you. And then they're like, "What? What? Oh, we weren't talking about you. Don't worry about that." And it's like, okay, whatever.
Doing everything right.
No, human capital. So it's like people think they know how to manage people, which I think is insane. It's kind of how I get the conversation. Like everybody has the best taste in music, or everybody has a good sense of humor, right? People think this stuff's like native to them. And it's usually not. It's usually some of those things you can work on. And I feel like people default to just never learning how to really manage people in a psychological way, but also like a planning kind of way. It's just weird how people think that because you own a business, you just can graph on like, oh yeah, I know how to lead a team. Are you dealing with that, or have you dealt with that?
Me personally?
Yeah. No. The other person in the room.
No. I mean, did you mean
like? All right.
As the employee or the employer?
Either way.
Either way.
Most people have had it as the employee.
If you're talking about if I've had a incompetent leader.
Yeah.
That's always tough. Good.
You can hold that like a rapper if you want. You don't have to put it in the stand.
It's not stretching, so
you got to do like this.
Extender.
Now you got it flaccid. It's good pod.
We're all
yeah.
set. No, yes. I found that what worked best for me with respect to the leaders that I had grown underneath was obviously dependent upon my personality type, which they saw. The smart ones picked up on it, and I flourished through a lot of autonomy, and so the empowerment aspect of things definitely took me to the next level because I felt like I had more influence. I was critical to the operation, and so
Like what? Like do you have an example or
just kind of making things a little bit
streamline?
Not that, but giving people a little bit more rope than they really deserve. So, like for instance, in my operation, my crew manager, I could be ruling with an iron fist, but I sort of take a back seat to him when it comes to communicating with the crew in terms of the chain of command to give him appear to have more authority than he really does for the betterment of his development and to have him dealing with an easier time with respect to his crew.
So meaning I always call that the push-pull manager. Are you push manager or pull manager? We've all had the push. We've had the guys that are dicks, right? The guys that micromanage a lot, or the ones that drive you really crazy, or the ones that give you a lot of leash, and then freak out when it's not the way they want it. Mm-hmm. And to me, that shows bad character. It shows that shows a lot of like poor planning again. But it's like they've never had to deal with people. I think like I always talk to people. We have a waiting list of people that want to work here, which is great. That's what I want. That was my goal. And there's a lot of potential openings in the near future. So if anybody wants to send a resume, has an idea what they want to do, that's TOCOWORKS.com. While you fiddle with this mic stand, man, this is giving you trouble. I feel bad. We have a backup over there, but my thing is, I want to be a pull manager. Where I'd like to go. How can we make this better for you? It's harder. You have to be more. It's like proactive thoughtfulness. Like it's like trying to be nice when you don't want to be nice, kind of thing. Where you have to go, how can we make this better? Not that they're not doing the job correctly, which I think is the push way of thinking. And I think when I have a lot of people that say, hey, how can I work with y'all now or in the future or whatever, I just go, what do you like to do? Because I want to put you on the things you want to do. There's going to be a lot of stuff you don't want to as an employee, or future employee or whatever. But I'm going to play you to your strength and then kind of give you skills outside of that. Exactly. I feel like there's not a lot of people. Have you had any bosses like that? Are you that boss?
I don't think I'm that boss. I hope I'm not that boss.
As far as like helping them, or as far as like, are you the push or are you the pull?
I'm more pull.
Uh-huh.
More pull than anything. I want them to figure it out as they go, reach that moment of clarity that, this is how either this works or this is how this doesn't work. But I'm not afraid to let them make a few mistakes. I think there's a lot of value in that. And me knowing that they're about to make a mistake and still letting them do that. Yeah. And then bringing them off to the side, hey, this is why this happened. This is why you got the reaction that you did. Moving forward, why don't we take this approach here? This is the way that this guy's wired. You can't come at him this way.
Yep. And
so try to be as calculated as possible and try to stay 2-3 steps ahead of the process.
Yeah, I mean, so I was talking to someone this week. I don't know if it was us talking one morning, but football coaches, right? I always love the guys that yell, go crazy for entertainment value. But on a management value, I only want to see a Tony Dungy type, right? Super quiet, gets things done behind the scenes. You can't tell if he's flustered or not. It drives you nuts as a fan, but at the same time, he was the guy that was always kind of, you got to stay even keeled. You have to lead by example. If you lose your shit, everybody else is going to lose their shit. And let me make sure. Yeah, your mic. I may have to geek your mic up in post there, but it's all good.
Yeah,
I know how to do it. It's coming through on this one
as
well.
It?
Yeah. Yeah, I've done it before.
Good.
Yeah. This is what happens when you let people use the place, and I go exactly the way you left it.
Make your adjustments.
It's all right. You weren't really doing anything the first 20 minutes anyway.
Doesn't matter.
No. But that thing of like, don't be a dick. It's not that hard, but you get more out of it as a manager when you're kind of really given a career path or giving like even just a quarterly path. Here's what I want you to learn, in these 3 months. Is that, I don't know. I feel like I've been kind of not obsessing over this, but using a lot of my my RAM, my brain RAM, whatever you want to
Your
call
hard drive.
it. Thinking about this because I think you get to that scale level where we want to grow a lot. It sounds like y'all do too, and it's kind of like, how do we do this? How do I brain dump how I want someone to approach creating a brand for someone? That's a really hard thing to articulate. So I've been trying to work on that.
I think let's go back to the Dungy reference
Sure.
real quick because that's kind of hits the nail on the head with what me personally, as far as evolving as a leader or a manager or business operator, what have you, the biggest step that I made was being able to put together a objective, detached, consistent attitude day in and day out, regardless of what's going on. There's so much value in that, and it's so overlooked because so many managers will wear their heart on their sleeve, and when shit hits the fan, oh my God, and all of a sudden he was just cutting up with me, now he wants to fire me. It's that is not going to keep your employees in a good place.
Right.
And so that's something that we will preach as we onboard these people. Look, the biggest thing that we can get from you, the most valuable thing that we can get from you is the same attitude day in and day out.
Yeah.
You are who you are, so figure out what that looks like and bring it to work every single day.
That's a really tough one too.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's tough. I definitely struggle with that. Having the consistency of your attitude is weird. It's also weird. Like I also told someone, I had a subcontractor in here, and I was like, "You're bumming me out, man. You can't fake positive energy or don't be here because I'm already going to be hard on myself, so I don't need someone else that's a bummer that I'm walking. I don't need you to be a cheerleader. That's neat if you're excited about what we're doing. But
Right.
if you're just doing it and you're doing it because you have to, and you're bringing me down into your shitty mood, I'm like, just don't ever come back in here.
That energy is
And he hasn't
freaking
come back.
cancerous.
He hasn't come back since.
I don't see him
No,
unless he's in the bathroom.
well, his fingerprint don't work on the on the doorknob anymore. So
Good.
that's how I do it. I do it with lasers. No, I feel like that mood and consistency will mess you up. If you have someone that's not, I think we use bipolar a little bit too loosely these days, but I'd say someone that just peaks and valleys emotionally is terrible. And honestly, I'd say more dudes I know are like that than women. I know that was sounding like you're setting up to say females, but I think guys don't know how to control anger a lot of the time, and maybe here is the sexist part. Maybe more females are more accommodating in a lot of ways because there's a lot more empathy. I feel like with a lot of women. I don't know. In the workplace.
Half of that's just being conscious about it. Just having the awareness that, okay, this is something I do, and this is causing me problems. I.e., this guy is telling me, "Hey, dude, get your shit together."
Right.
And then next time, when you realize you're going down that road, you're starting to think that way. Holy shit! Let me rein myself in, and then make the adjustments. A lot of people can't do that.
It's kind of my beef with spatial awareness and how people don't have it at the.
Use of
Southwest,
space and time.
A Southwest flight, right? If you work on Southwest as a what we can't call them flight attendants. What are they called now? Concierge? I don't know.
No, airline associates.
Sure.
I really don't know.
But I was like, at a certain point, if your butt is too big to go down the aisle straight forward, I don't know what that ADA requirement is. I know a door's 36 inches if you build a place, but the plane, literally, I've seen so many flight attendants where both hips, guys and girls, both hips are hitting everybody and waking them up as they're going.
Well, and you have the element of the bag too.
Yeah.
Where's that supposed? I mean, do you twist it in front?
What do you do?
I mean, if you got the satchel, the little Indiana Jones messenger bag,
or they come by with the basket of stuff, and you're like, oh, sweet, and then they charge you, and you're like, really?
or the kid.
Or the kid.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I feel like spatial awareness. No. I just wanted to go on tangent about that, but there is a lot of things about. Did you take any management classes? I know you're a big reader for business books, which is really cool because I feel like I taught myself a lot of stuff in a way, not a complete autodidact, I think is the real term, but where you teach yourself basically everything. Right. But I think for that to be pure, you'd have to like literally not use YouTube or read a book or any of that. Like you literally teach yourself all that stuff.
Right.
But that's how I learned. I just watch YouTube videos to develop skills. Management wise, I had some great bosses to learn what's good to do and what's bad to do.
Right.
And I try to just pluck all the good stuff and really try to not be the bad part. Is that kind of where you're at, or do you have any book recommendations?
I think because my previous line of work was heavy on the sales aspect and not so much me doing it. It was in the health and fitness business, but teaching people how to sell, so understanding the psychology of sales. A lot of that has to do, or a lot of being a successful salesperson is bringing the same package each and every time and not coming across like you're putting on a big performance.
Yeah.
So, because that just doesn't fly anymore. But also, too, when you're selling, you can't be attached to that outcome. The customer can't feel that you need that sale to take place.
Oh, yeah.
They have to feel an indifference that you are essentially just an expert, just positioning yourself to help them or solve their problem, provide a solution for what their needs are currently. If you go with them, great. If not, no problem, as long as the solution gets presented to them and executed.
Yeah, and when you're really broke and you have to do that, that's tough.
That's tough.
That is
that's
the
tough.
act.
Yeah.
The act is, it's like the Prestige or the two magicians love that one guy who could put a fishbowl between his legs, but the real trick is him just walking around with a fake limp.
Prestige.
Yeah, it's a very underrated movie.
I don't know how many times it's been referenced on any podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Definitely on this one a few times, but the magic trick from that magician was that he walked around with a bad limp so he could do one trick, which was a fishbowl. He basically did his whole act with a fishbowl underneath like a dress kind of thing, a sari kind of deal. But that's kind of the same thing where like there's so many people in that sales area that are like, I gotta fucking close. I gotta do it. It's the guy in Glenn
Ross, yeah.
Old Gil.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one they call him on The Simpsons, where it's like, Gil's got to get a sale today, like, or I can't go home kind of thing. So you have to make sure you're not Jack Lemmon in that.
Right.
And
or Biff Loman, Death of a Salesman.
I've never seen that.
It's a book. Great book. Old school.
It's a play too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to appear like just even-handed, calm. But you're right. Detach yourself if you can't really do that a little bit. And another thing he said that's really good is that it kind of just is what it is eventually. And it's not life or death. That's another thing you got to learn while trying to do business development and sales. It's like you'll get it or you won't. And you just keep on going.
Right.
No matter what. Where was I going to go with this?
One more point to that.
Pick it up, man.
Bullet.
Take the ball.
Yeah. I'm picking it up. I'm going to the end zone with this one.
Mm-hmm.
But something my mom, shout out to Mom.
Oh, what up, Mom?
What up, Mom? Love you. When she was
teaching
me driving, when she was teaching me how to drive, she emphasized, okay, people are insane. And so what I need you to do when you're behind the wheel is expect people to be idiots. Expect them to drive across the opposite lane and run into your car. Expect that to happen.
Yeah.
Be prepared for that. Obviously, defensive driving, whatever. But that goes into the same token as managing your attitude on the job. Take those things in stride, conflict, engage in it. It's going to happen, so just expect it to happen. Be ready.
Yeah, and don't avoid it either.
Don't avoid it. Yeah, get excited.
Even as a manager, you don't want to do some conflict where you're like, ugh. I've been conscious of working on that since we started this firm, because it's like you can't put off these things because it ends up fucking everybody basically. But it's like, I don't really want to open this email or deal with this or call this person up.
I've done it. It's the worst. So I do not recommend that.
But it's a reps thing, right? Eventually you don't care, like it doesn't phase you because you have the reps to go, oh, okay, this is how people are.
Right.
So someone doesn't show up a few times.
Thus is your learning curve for any position or job or
whatever.
And you know
that can be a potential thing, but it's weird how you have to. It has to happen for you to really kind of be able to deal with it. Like you can shadow as many people as you want. If that employee doesn't show up, that first time is gonna suck.
Right.
When you're gonna go, hey, you're fired. Don't kill me later.
Right.
But that's not the way to do it. It's always like, look, here's the math of it. You didn't show up for 3 days in a row. I saw pictures on Facebook that you were at Senior Frogs doing tequila shot.
Senior Frogs.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah. Is there one around here?
No.
I didn't think so.
You went to Puerto Rico.
Cancun.
Old Town. Or Cancun.
Old Town.
And you went to Senior Frogs. I could see it. I was going to fire you before that anyway, but now I have evidence because you got to get all legal sometimes. But sometimes not you don't want to. No one wants to.
Nobody wants to
get in the courtroom. But what? So anything else, Mama Whalen, Mama?
Oh, geez, that's a can of worms right there.
Yeah. Can she call in on one of your two?
I would
phones?
love that. A lot of wisdom from that woman. But again, I think she's holding out all that information for profit. So I'm sure she's writing a book right now.
Oh, okay.
So I can't share too much.
Wow, webinar. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
We'll see. Maybe I can get some behind the scenes action.
So what do you kind of want to work on, I guess? How about that? Let's kind of shift over to that, where unless you have some other kind of stories, anecdotes, anything you've kind of learned as like being under shitty managers or trying to be not a shitty manager currently.
That would be I would say, right now, my biggest thing is making sure that when my guys leave me for whatever reason, either they're, going up in the organization or they're moving laterally for better accommodations or they're going onward and upward to, better their careers, I want to make sure that they leave better than I found them.
Camping.
Right.
Did you say that the other day?
What do you mean?
I thought I saw the speech on yesterday.
I did reference that in my 8-minute BNI presentation.
Yeah, so that's it's a camping thing. We say it too. Treat people the way as good on the way in as you do on the way out, right? So, but that's what you do at the campsite too, which fits our brand world stuff. But
there's the logo.
Yeah. If you're watching on video, which I don't know why you would, but people like to do it.
Beautiful faces right here.
Yeah.
Sweatshirts.
My pale big
great
moon
complexion.
Face. But it's a camping thing though. You go to a campsite, you leave it better than when you came in.
Right.
You never heard that?
I hadn't heard that,
Oh, really?
but it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean that's it. That's it. Seems.
It's an old NAMBLA thing.
Exactly.
No.
I mean, it's
I'm kidding.
it's good to preach.
Yeah. Well, Jared Fogle was my guy. No.
Yikes.
I don't know if you heard the NAMBLA part I threw out there. You know what NAMBLA is?
Mm-mm.
The National Association of Man, Boy, Love, something like that.
Love children?
You never heard that?
No.
South Park did an episode.
I wasn't I was a Family Guy person.
Oh, I like both.
That's cool.
I'm by cartoon.
By cartoon.
By animation, whatever. So I guess
Picking back up on that point.
every project has an exit. Every business has an exit.
Mhm.
Every employee should have an exit plan. Now, sometimes it's terminated. Sometimes they leave on their own accord. But I do believe the same thing, even if it does end up not in an exit not in a way you want it to.
Mhm.
I still try to be as good as possible. You never know how that will come around.
Right.
In in a decade or something, where you may need help from that person. I've seriously, the firm I worked for before this. It's weird how things turned around, and now I might be able to use them on subcontracting when I was kind of the dog.
Right.
So it's weird how that can turn around. It's not. I'm not going to do the thing of like be nice to nerds because they could be Bill Gates, because that's like kind of a horrible lesson or horrible kind of
Wrong way to think about
go
it.
about it. But tell me about what you think about that exit for peeps.
My biggest thing is adding value. So they're going to come in there and they're going to have an experience regardless. So why not, if we're already there, have them make that experience be one of the most pivotal times of their life, especially with what I'm dealing with a bunch of, college kids for the most part. They're still shaping who they are.
You're an old fuck.
I am.
Yes. These guys.
I'm ancient.
You're 27, 28?
I'm 27, but
27, and you got guys that are 18 to 24 maybe at the tops.
Yeah. There's a couple sprinkled in there.
But you remember the age, how old that is when you
I know.
I'm
Mr. Drummond.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a reference I barely get. Yeah.
Barely.
Wow. Nice.
I was trying to relate.
Yeah.
here,
No.
man,
No. Well, you overshot age, but yeah, I'm only 5 years older than you. But yeah, that's like
back to
parents.
the value. Yeah.
Value add.
Value add. And it helps me too. If I get engaged and I want to pour into them, that's going to make me that much more passionate about what I'm doing, and thus be able to provide a better product. So a good lesson, especially when we were ramping up and trying to really hone this thing in, and you have tough days, obviously, and a lot of startups go through the same thing where it's like questioning, oh my God, what am I doing, and whatever. But old boss of mine, gave me a good lesson a while back, but she was saying basically, anytime that, it's just nothing's going your way and everything's kind of falling apart or whatever, you're going to have a shitty day regardless. Make sure that you have you do at least one thing that you can kind of hang your hat on, for that day, and then it can thus be turned around. And the easiest way to do that is by spending time with your people. And so if you can have one powerful conversation with, a guy like one of my employees and make a difference in his viewpoints or his outlook on life, and make that kind of impact, well then, hey, it's a good day. Shit could have went all over the place, hit the fan, left, right, under, whatever. But if you took the time and you poured into him and you really, wow, holy shit, thanks.
Yeah.
It's not a bad day.
Yeah, I mean, if you really break down the hours, most people work most of their life, right? So it's kind of a conversation I was having with my wife when we had her family in town, and it was like, can we not talk business stuff? And I'm like, it's all around. Like, I don't know
how not to do that.
Because to me, like, caring about the family, her side of the family's business, or what they're doing as far as what company they may work for or whatever, it's like, yeah, it's not just the math part of it. The management side is that empathy, but the empathy and ego. Have I sent you that?
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I can technically. I'll preface it, because it's a Harvard Business Review case, so I don't want to get sued by HBR, which is actually, they have a lot of good stuff on their site. They try to go a little clickbaity with some of the articles now, but there's still a lot of good resources on there.
Pay per read?
Yeah, they do a subscription model, but if you clear your cookies in cache, they'll never be able to track it. So
hopefully they're not listening.
Same with any of the business journals in your respective city.
Yeah.
We're in the Tampa Bay area. They'll let you read like 3 or 5 or whatever. If you just clear all that shit out, they can't track you.
That's a good idea to do anyway.
Well, yeah, depending on what you use it for.
That's what I'm saying. There you go.
Yeah, please, clear history after I die. It won't even make sense.
Or
I'll look like
I'll
look like a murderer. Like it'll be like, huh? What is he looking up?
When you hand the computer over to your wife.
No, I just have
before.
it. I've got a chip in me that when I expire, it just implodes.
When I expire, it implodes.
Yeah, man. You can't have that shit out there.
You were prepared.
Yeah. Morbidly, when you have a kid, you think about death a lot. It's fucking weird. Yep. You'll do it too.
Do not look forward to that.
Yeah, it's why a lot of people get life insurance, do their will and stuff, because you're like, oh, this is almost halftime.
Estate planning.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
I heard it from another comedian, didn't think about it until we had our kid, and I was like, oh wow, that is strangely narcissistic and morbid at the same time. But what was I talking about?
You were going about employee development.
Yeah, I had a. Now I got sidetracked. Having the empathy and ego thing. I don't even smoke anything, and it's kind of like that just sometimes. So people are like, "Are you having a stroke?" I'm like, "Hold on, I'm thinking. I just don't want to say."
Half my face doesn't work right now.
Are you playing freeze tag? So empathy and ego, and this was for a Harvard Business Review case that was mainly about sales, right? Kind of like what we were talking about a little bit ago. You need enough empathy to find out needs, to know what's going on, to really feel what that company or that person has in their shoes, and then you need the ego enough to make a deal.
Portray confidence.
Yeah, or just
have it.
Have it. Yeah. No portraying. I mean, after a while, you should.
That's a facade. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not real ego, right? I guess it can be, but the point is you need to have both sides of those coins to really to manage as well. So you need enough empathy. You can't be best friends with everybody that you hire.
No.
And it goes vice versa if you're an employee too. Oh, I wonder why he's doing these changes. And most people do it in a irrational way, like, fuck this, he's not even thinking about us, or he or she is not thinking about us, the manager, the boss, or whatever. But if you really sat and thought about it, most of the time a lot of stuff makes sense in a logical way, like, oh, they're preparing to buy this company, so they're stressed on us. It's a little projection. Just take it on the chin, move on. And so I always think of that empathy and ego article. I'll let you read it but not have it, because I had it in business school, so I had a license for it. But it really, that's kind of how I think about almost everything in business. And same with stand-up. You have to have enough empathy to, like, know you're dope, and know, like, you and see what's going on around you, and observe how other people get their elbow knocked in the southwest aisle, and how the flight attendant's just unaware of it, but maybe one of them is, and you're trying to see their face, whatever it is. You're trying to figure out that empathy part, but you have to have the ego to go on stage and talk shit.
That's how you break it down?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? How would you see that?
Well, I mean, it's different. You're going from a comedian standpoint.
Yeah, well, business-wise. So in the business development side, we kind of...
Because ego's such a broad term, you know?
Well,
how are you looking at it?
That confidence way.
Yeah.
And confidence comes with knowing what you're doing. So, like, if you have a sales job or you have a management job, and you don't have a lot of reps in the industry or as that position, why not absorb as much as you can? And now we live in this era where there's a lot of good free information. You have to sift through a lot of bullshit, but you can find almost any business class, for free online, or anything to read about how to get better in that area. And so ego is also just that confidence builds on itself once you really know what you're doing. And if you don't have reps, you need to read about other people getting reps.
Have you encountered, with your history, have you encountered anything where there was either too much ego or too much empathy and not enough of the other?
Oh, all the time, yeah. All the time. But you'll question it. That's the other part, too. Was I too light on this side, or was I too hard on this side when we were talking? I'll just use the sales example. But, if someone doesn't sign, because we're a client-heavy company, if someone doesn't sign, maybe I didn't really diagnose their needs, or maybe I didn't ask enough questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's you questioning your
Lack of
empathy.
empathy, yeah.
Or maybe I was just I didn't give them some of the tough love they needed, is the other side, where, too much ego is like, the crazy examples I always feel is like Boiler Room or
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that was the one I was really trying to think of. But yeah,
Boiler Room's great though too. It's underrated.
But too high pressure, you can get to a point where you're so good you can be like, look, just look at empirical evidence, but that doesn't mean that person wants to work with you.
Right.
So yeah, all the time. And I think about this kind of duality off business when you're kind of, let's say you're in a volunteer group or something. It happens in micro areas too, right? But a lot of people are trying to get something out of someone. Politicians are the worst at this. They have the craziest ego, but they have very little empathy after a while. And I feel like the higher you get on the chain, the bigger the ego. And like you start out with a lot of empathy as like a city council member.
Right.
And little, enough ego to get you there. But then that
Code
whole
enforcement
thing goes all the way up, and now it's 90% ego and 10 empathy. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's a huge point right there.
So I feel like that happens with athletes that are badasses. It's tough to keep those in check, but you kind of need both. Tom Brady, I feel like, has a good mix of it to bring it to your Boston area.
Yeah.
I feel like he still feels like he's not as good as he can be.
Right.
But he has enough ego to go out there. I feel like playing quarterback, you have to have that's part of the job.
Right.
Being a pilot, you have to have that. What other alcoholic positions are? Being a lawyer, a trial lawyer.
Positions.
Well, they talk about
lawyer, doctor, what?
Well, there's alcoholism runs in like a lot of specific occupations.
Industries.
Yeah, because it has like this like thrill-seeking kind of thing, and they can't shut it off sometimes. So booze helps.
Right.
That's another podcast for another
That's a
time.
whole another hour right there.
But that thing of like, I don't know, you don't feel that way? You don't feel like it's broken down kind of like that?
No, I mean, I hadn't even thought about it that way until you just said it, but that's actually because it it all comes down to what level of influence you're trying to have with whomever that's taking place with.
But I'm with you. I mean, part of the reason my favorite movie is Big Fish is the ending scene, and I'll cry almost every time I watch it because it's that father-son thing. But as you're on your way to your river, where he metaphorically, he's on his exit. His offboarding session, if we're keeping it in employee development.
With the workplace.
That you hope everybody around you is like, oh, this guy added value to my life. And that's what I kind of like at that end, where it's all the tall tales he's told. Some are fake, some are real, but there's some part that by him being alive, he added something to their life and didn't take away.
Right.
Except for maybe his own family, which is kind of the lesson of the movie. Like, don't be that guy who's great to everybody and then doesn't pay any attention to your own house.
True.
But that part aside, his not so good with his son and wife part, trying to add value everywhere is kind of how I think about it as well. So it's interesting you kind of said it in that way. I have to say it in movie references because I can't think of a better way to articulate it.
Well, basically, what I'm thinking is if somebody's been with me for more than 3 months or so, and he's planning on leaving, if I don't feel good about how he's going to fare in the marketplace, I didn't do my job.
Yeah.
I've dropped the ball, obviously.
Right.
Whether that be just pure lack of attention to him, or it might have been just lack of investing in myself to be able to have content to push out to these guys and help them continually educate and learn and all, because that's half the battle. You have to stay learning yourself. You have to stay curious.
Yeah, buy curious. And yeah, it's
Buy cartoon curious.
But it's one of those things where that's what we need to put in our Slack group is like a resources channel. So if sharing information like that's really valuable, and I know y'all's company talks about, trying to get a lot of business value and learning a lot about business by doing and by being around it and learning from guys like you and higher up in the whole kind of system. But it's one of those things where, just having that Slack channel of like, hey, I found this article, thinking about y'all, send it over.
Well, I sent something into that thing I sent you
that's
yesterday,
good.
the online ads little podcast. So these guys are freaking.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, I was thinking about you, thought about this,
Right.
download that, and I've got it subscribed and ready to go
Boom.
when I start doing housework. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Only 10-minute episodes. How about that?
That's when I listen to
Turn and burn.
a lot of podcasts. Got to do baby stuff.
I pod it up when I cook. That's
Yeah.
actually my favorite time to pod.
He cooks, he cleans. Ladies of the Tampa Bay area, I mean, Jesus. And he's got 27-inch pythons. Woo! Nature boy.
Diameter? Circumference?
I don't know. I don't even know if that's big.
Combined.
We've talked for about 50, man.
Yeah.
And speaking of my son and not being a shitty
Speaking
dad,
of having to pick him up.
I got to go pick up my 23-pound, 6-month-old.
23 pounds, 6 ounce, newborn infant.
Mm-hmm.
Trip.
Anything else you got?
Not entirely. Appreciate you having me. And
Yeah.
any of you fine Tampanians out there or Wesley Chaplains in need of moving services, junk removal services, labor services, packing, or just a friendly smile and someone to play checkers with, hire College Hunks.
Wow. That's an interesting plug on a podcast.
It's fine.
Hyper localized.
Hyper localized.
All right, man. Thanks.